Greetings again, traders. I want to show you what is called swing projections and standard deviations in smart money concepts. Okay, swing projections and standard deviation in smart money concepts. Now, when price forms a range like what we have been talking about, and how do you define a range when it has taken liquidity below and above a key level? Okay, now if we see a displacement like this, what we have here, where we have from 0% right down to 100%, okay, that is our range. Now let us assume that we bought at optimal trade entry level, which is either 79% Fibonacci level, 62% Fibonacci level, or 70.5% Fibonacci level. Let us assume that we bought here. Now, how do we take our profit? Remember, I have also taught you that price is always moving from internal range liquidity to external range liquidity, and from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity. In this scenario, we have price moving from internal range liquidity to external range. Remember, this is a range that we are defining here, right? This is a range, and we say liquidity that is within this range is internal. If price travels out of this range, it is external. Okay, so how do we target that external range liquidity? This is what we do. If we had bought down here into any of these key levels or the optimal trade entry levels, we can simply target our profit by extending these Fibonacci levels to what we call standard deviations. Those are simply swing projections. Now, we can simply do half a standard deviation, or we can do a full standard deviation as our profit objective. Now, how do we do that? We can simply just go to the Fibonacci tool settings, and first of all, let us toggle off these optimal trade entry levels. Now, it's going to come back to normal. If you want to target external range liquidity, one of the things you can do is you can target half of the standard, okay, which means from 0 to 50% is half a standard. From 50% to 100% is half a standard. From 0% to 100% is a full standard. Okay, so we can simply just take half of this standard and then we project it as our profit objective. So what we are going to do is we can go to the settings, and then you see these settings here, toggle on negative 0, okay, 0.5. That is half a standard deviation, and you go back. You see, we have simply multiply this by half. We have projected this standard by half. Okay, which means if you bought down here, or just give me 1 minute, let me take our long position tool. If you bought into this optimal trade entry level, you could simply target half a standard deviation as your profit objective. That is it over here, which is, what is that price level? The price level is 1.11136. That would have been your profit, which is half a standard deviation. I hope you get it. Remember, I said again, from 0 to 100 is a full standard. So you can simply just, from 0 to 50% is half a standard. You can just take half a standard and then you project it outside. That is external range liquidity, and that's going to be a profit objective. Now, if you want to be more aggressive or more risky, depending on your risk appetite, you can target a full standard deviation. A full standard deviation will simply mean that you are going to take this one standard deviation and you are going to project it into two. I hope this is clear. Just give me 1 minute again. Let me do this. Okay, which means you are going to take this full standard deviation and you project it into two. That is one standard deviation. It's going to give you a standard deviation. Okay, this one is 1. Okay, this is the range. You project this range into 2. Okay, that is a full standard deviation. Let me do it. You can simply do it in 2 ways. You can simply just clone this one and then you carry it across. Bam, that is one standard deviation. Okay, that is a swing projection, which is a standard deviation. Okay, and that will be your profit objective. That is if you are risky, if you have a high risk appetite. Look at something here. You see that price almost did a full standard deviation. It is just a few pips short to make one standard deviation. That is how you can project your Fibonacci tool to actually take profits using standard deviations in smart money concept. There's another way you can do it. You can simply just go to the Fibonacci tool settings and you see this level -1. Okay, -1. Where is that level? -1. This -1 here, just toggle it on. If you toggle on -1 and you press OK, you see that is a full standard deviation over here. It is the same like you have taken the original 0% to 100% and then you multiply it by 2. It's going to give you a complete standard deviation. That is one standard deviation. That can be your profit level also. But you notice here that price did not actually hit one standard deviation. It went a few pips, just a few pips short to hit a standard deviation. That is how you can project your Fibonacci tool to actually take profits in smart money concept. Now you can just go back and you toggle off this level and it's going to take you to the original level, which is a full dealing range. That's your dealing range here. Now let us look at the current market price here, Euro USD. And we are going to see how we can project our profit objective here. Let us define this as our range, which is the original displacement at the time of looking at this chart. Now, if you want to do a full standard deviation, it means we want to project price downward, meaning we are anticipating that when price trades back into that optimum trade entry level, this is our anticipation. Okay, let's do something here. If it trades into this bearish order block, there's a possibility that it is going to seek external range liquidity. Okay, external range liquidity means it is liquidity that is out of this range that we have defined from 0 to 100%. That is our dealing range. Anything that is outside of that range is external. Okay, external range liquidity. So if you want to project this range downward by a full range, we can simply come to our Fibonacci tool settings and we do a complete standard deviation. We just toggle on -1, which means we want to see price trade below here, okay, by a full standard below here, and that is going to be our profit level. So we can simply just go to our MT5, we copy this price level here, which is 1.10505. That is going to be our full standard deviation, okay, and we are going to set it as our profit objective, which means if price leaves this level and travels right down here, we have targeted a complete standard, okay, a complete range, which is one standard deviation. But if we do not want to be that risky, we can simply just take half a standard deviation. We simply come here and we toggle -0.5, which is going to give us just half, okay, half of a standard deviation, and that is still going to be okay. You can copy this price level, which is 1.10743. That is going to give us just half of a standard deviation, and that is still going to be fine. That is still external range liquidity, okay, and there's no problem with that. It depends on your risk appetite, but usually that is how price will seek external range liquidity. Anytime price leaves from internal range and is seeking external range, it can either travel by half a standard deviation or a full standard deviation, or even more sometimes, depending on what IPDA is reaching out for. So I hope you have understood how you can do swing projections using the Fibonacci tool. We can go on and you will see how far price traveled using this standard deviation and swing projections. Let me show you something here. Let us say this is a range, or this is a range here. From this high to this low here is a range. We are going to see how price actually traveled. Let's look at something here. Let me toggle off this one and we are going to see something. Let us say this is a range here, okay, from this displacement low to this displacement high. Let me change this text to right, labels to the left. Let me take it to the left. Good. Look at something here. If this is our dealing range here, from this high to this low, that is a range, right? Let us say we want to project price upward by half a standard, which means we want to see price travel half of this range upward, and that will be our profit objective, which means we are going to go to our Fibonacci tool and we are going to toggle on negative 0.5 here. If you toggle on negative 0.5, let me change the color to black. Okay, look at something. Let me reverse it. Okay, I'm sorry about this, so that it can be projected upward. Good. Look at it here. Look at something. This is half a standard deviation. You see, this projection over here is half a standard deviation. So if you did this half a standard deviation, trust me, you will have hit your profit, and that is very, very good. Okay, that is a low hanging fruit. Very good. Let us remove this one. Give me 1 minute. Let me toggle off this. Let me toggle off this. Let me toggle off this, and we leave only this one. Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong. I'm sorry about that. Let me toggle off this one. This and this actually. Good. You see, that is half a standard deviation. Okay, half a standard deviation, and that would have been a very good profit target. So you can either do half a standard deviation depending on your risk appetite, or you can do a full standard deviation. That will still be okay. I hope it is understood. So we can go to different price levels and we try to project them and see how far price traveled. Let us do another example down here. Let's assume that this was a range from this high to this low down here. Okay, this was a dealing range here. I'm talking about this range. Just give me 1 minute. Let me toggle off this half a standard deviation. Good. If this was our range here, this displacement high to this displacement low, this was our dealing range. Okay, now we want to take profit above here because we anticipate that price is going to move higher. Look at how price traded to this on this 50% fib level, which is the equilibrium level. See how price respected that level. Let me take the levels to the right. Good. See how price stayed here, 50% fib level. That is the equilibrium level. Price did not trade below this level. Look at something. These are very key levels on the Fibonacci tool. Okay, now if we want to take profits above this range and we don't want to be too risky, we just want to take a very small profit, let's say half a standard deviation, all you simply have to do is, when you have defined your range, you simply come and you toggle on negative 0.5. that is going to give you half a standard deviation, and you are going to mark that level. You copy the price level and you set it as your TP on your MT5. You see, if you targeted that level, trust me, you will have had your profit very, very easily. Let's say you bought here and your profit target was just half a standard deviation, which is 1.09776. That would have been a very, very good price level and you will have hit your TP. Okay, now let us say you wanted to do a full standard deviation. You should come to your settings, your Fibonacci tool settings, and you toggle on -1. Look at something. That is a complete standard deviation over here. Okay, you still will have hit your TP, which is at 1.10113 about, or 1.10102. Okay, that is a complete standard deviation, which means you took this range and you multiplied by 2. Let us say you did 1.5 standard deviation. Because there are people out there who are quite they have a quite high risk appetite. -1.5. okay, you see, look at -1.5. see, price hit that level very well. Okay, so this is how you can actually project your fib level to do what we call standard deviations. Look at how far price traveled. Look at something, how far price traveled. Let's do 2 standard deviations. Let's go to our fib level again and we do 2 standard deviations, which means -2. -2 is 2 standard deviation. You see, these 2 standard deviations. Look at something, price hit that level perfect. Now if you want to do 3 standard deviations, which means you are multiplying our range by 3, you can simply go again to these settings. I don't know who will have been able to do this, but that's quite a massive price move. Look at something. See, look at where price got to. That's 3 standard deviations, -3. you still will have gotten your TP. Let's do negative 3.5. That is 3.5 standard deviations. Where's negative 3.5? You see, you will have hit it perfectly. You see, these are very key levels on the Fibonacci tool, and trust me, they are very accurate. Look at it. Look at the accuracy level here. So this is cool 3.5 standard deviations on Euro USD. Okay, very perfect. Look at how price hit that level and retraces immediately. So this is not a random price, okay? This is algorithmic price delivery, and Ether is always traveling respecting key price levels, okay? It is not random. It is not random. So you can use your Fibonacci tool by first of all starting with a half a standard deviation as your profit objective. You do one standard deviation as your profit objective. If you think that the market is going to expand higher, you can do 1.5, you can do 2, you can do 3, 3.5, 2.5, and then it depends on how far you anticipate that price is going to move. You can extend your fib levels like that. You copy those price levels and you set them on your MetaTrader 5 as your profit objective. I hope this is understood. You can go ahead and practice, and if you have difficulties, always reach out to me and I will help you explain further. Thank you so very much, and see you. Goodbye.